This. Pastor Lucky, want to come on up, please? Pastor Lucky, we need you here. We're going to need to start the evening. 41 seconds? 41 seconds, done. That was 41 seconds ago.
Okay, camera boy, you ready? It's all Hawaii 5-0. Makaukau, kanikapu, hele mai kaua. Nei tahale o kalihua, e halile hua no ia na kano e o karu no ia e hano e haliane ho I kaki mai e di mai no lua e di bu no me ke alo. Aloha I mau aku kaloko mai kai o ke akua. Ha me ka launa. Pua nu ka uhan he molele me ka ko a pau. E ko mako maku I loko kalani. E pua nu ia ko inoa. Hei ki mai ko au puni. E malama ia ko make mako onua nei. E liki me ia. E malama ia. Makalani la. Mahalo nui loa o ke akua. A me ka Yesu Christo. May the Lord God bless you and keep you. May God's face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. And may the Lord God lift up his countenance upon all of you and give you peace, prosperity, and pleasure of what he chose for you to be. The vessel to feel his love in you, to love the one that love you and those that may not know the love that comes from you, to share the light so they can see the one that they need to see. With that said, makakau kanikapu paukahana. Let's get this started going. 911, I got him. He's done.
Thank you, Pastor Lucky. We appreciate that.
One more minute. Everybody know what this means, right? The tourists, they usually say, shaka hang loose. For us, for the tourists. For us, kanaka mauli, this means aloha. Everybody repeat after me. Aloha means always. Always. Love. Over. Hate. Always. No more Hawaii. No more aloha. But no more keakua. No more love. So turn to the person next to you, whether you love him or not.
Pastor, there's a lot of food, so, go ahead and help yourself. Anyway, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us this evening. I am Rick Nava, the Executive Director. Our President, Joe Pluta, unfortunately had to be admitted to the hospital earlier this afternoon. He's fine, but he can't be here today, so I'll try to do as good as he has done in years past. Also, I'd like to at this time recognize all the directors of the West Maui Taxpayers Association. This is something that we always look forward to doing every election so that the voters of West Maui, as well as our audience, because we are in the Kaku, would learn, about our candidates this election. So I would like to acknowledge our Vice President, who unfortunately is not here with us as well. He's in Seattle. He lost his home and he's still not able to move in, and that's Mr. Joe Park. One of the director here, Richard Jarman, if you could please rise. Thank you, Richard. Another director who is also our timekeeper, Michelle Kane. Thank you, Michelle. A director, he's not here with us. He's actually also the general manager of Napilikai Beach Resort, Greg Nilsson. Another director, he will be our sergeant at arms. He was going to call you to make sure that you're ready to go on this table when your name is called, and that's Ryan Takeshita. Ryan, he's way back there. Another director, Fereste Tali, right up here. Fereste, thank you. And last but not least is Dennis Turpin. Unfortunately, I believe he's in the mainland. He's one of our directors. Again, I am Rick Nava, the Executive Director of the West Maui Taxpayers Association. Thank you. I'm kind of like rushing because I want to be on time here. You know, when you're in the military, you're supposed to be always on time. So, again, our apologies, but we're going to make it up. Is Council Member Gabe Johnson here? Council Member Shane Sinensi? Oh, good. That's a lot of time then for us. Council Member Kiani? Candidate John Pelly? Okay, then let's do some more fellowship, get to know your candidates, and help yourself with food, because then if that's the case, if it's okay with you, we will start our forum. Well, if they come in, then we'll go ahead and acknowledge them. Otherwise, Council Member Yukile Sugimura, Ed Cordelia, and Jocelyn Cruz, if we could get you guys maybe up here at about 5:45 or so, I'll call on you. In the meantime, please, if you haven't had your food yet, we do have wonderful food by, what is the name of our wonderful caterer? I can't remember. It's catered by Fish Tacos El Blue. It is great food. It's healthy, so please help yourself. We do have some water, juice, coffee out in the front, so help yourself. All right? No, not yet. Yeah, I know you want to get going because you want to drive back to up country, but no, not yet. Thank you, Council Member Sugimura. While I'm taking the time, I might as well do a little plug-in about the West Maui Taxpayer Association. The West Maui Taxpayer Association, especially for those of you here in Lahaina, we're always looking for more people to join the organization. Because this year, as you know, in about 2 weeks or so, the anniversary of the fire, and of course, we've been very active in trying to get another fire station here on West Maui. One of the biggest accomplishments of the West Maui Taxpayer Association was actually we're the organization that was able to build the Napili Fire Station. The Napili Fire Station was basically built through the donation of Mr. Cameron of the Maui Land and Pine, and donation from the community. And when it was built, we turned that over to the County of Maui. Also, with the West Maui Taxpayer Association, we were very active in receiving the certificate of needs in order for us to build a hospital. I'm not sure if you're all aware of this, is that Maui is the only place in all the county whereby every time we do a facility, a health facility anyway, we need to have a certificate of needs approved by the state of Hawaii. So don't you feel at times that we are basically dictated by the state of Oahu? So I think Angus McKelvey is here somewhere. Angus, Senator McKelvey, are you here? Okay, he's coming out. I see him up in the back there. But anyway, again, this is why it is so important for us to really get involved whenever there's something that's going on, especially in election. You know, one of the things that personally I said to one of the candidates is that, you know, wouldn't it be so good that when the state representative or state senator, that they will be elected by the entire state of Hawaii? It's because, you know, for me personally, it doesn't sit very well with me when a senator in Honolulu is telling us that we have to shut down the boarding department up in Lahaina Luna High School, someone who's never even been to Lahaina Luna High School. So that's the kind of things that sometimes we here on Maui have to deal with. I don't know if you folks have been paying attention to what's going on, is that you do remember that when the president came here to Maui, to Lahaina, one of the things that he said was that we will help you rebuild a better community. I only wish he had said a safer community. So then when he said that, everybody was saying that we will listen to the people of Lahaina, how you want your town to be built. So whenever we have when our people come upstairs to every Wednesday, there was one particular evening where everybody was asking for the bypass. He said, we want the bypass to be extended all the way up to north, maybe all the way up to Mahina. I know this is a state issue. It's not a thing with the county, but we can help with this, is that this is what the people of West Maui is saying. We need the bypass. It sniffs and says, no, it's not in the, it's not in the books. It's not in the plan. To me, when the people of Lahaina is saying this is what we need, they should look into putting that. Me personally, if it's not for the bypass, maybe we would have died also from the fire. I live on Lahaina Luna Road. I saw my house burn, and I was able to get out because of we bust down the gate through that water station, Department of Water office, right on Lahaina Luna Road. And we go to the bypass. We would have taken a left turn coming down on Keawe Street, but that road was also burning. So we ended up going to Uluwalo, which should have been our first route in the first place. But to me, that is crazy that you're going to go right back into the same area. As you know, most of you probably, at least the people that do not live on this side of the island, if you're trying to come here in the morning, especially at 7 o'clock, and you have to deal with that traffic on Keawe Street, that's crazy. From Uluwalo to Keawe Street at 7 o'clock in the morning, it takes you between 30 minutes to 45 minutes. And then, of course, during the day, when everybody's passing through there, again, I'm talking actually to the council members here, we need to do something with Keawe Street. That place is so dangerous. One lady already passed away from that road. And it's a very simple solution, and this is coming from the West Maui Taxpayers Association. All we have to do is put a slow down sign there, 15 miles an hour, so that nobody's coming down that hill speeding 30, 45 miles an hour. And to me, that would be simple. Of course, we have a lot of visitors who doesn't know much what's going on that road. And so it's so dangerous that, again, we at the West Maui Taxpayer Association, as you know, health, welfare, and safety has always been our priority. So the elected officials, could you please help us out on that? See what you can do to help with the safety of the people of West Maui. Oh, and then the other thing, again, Joe Pluta and I and Vanessa and Calais, we came here early this morning to set up these tables. These tables here is actually as old as my son, and he's 40 years old. Don't laugh, because these tables are pretty bad. Now, we are the cash cow of the county of Maui. The least we could do is have some nice tables, have some nice chairs, and replace all of this, and maybe paint the walls here or something. But seriously, we need these tables replaced. After this meeting this evening, help us clean up this place, and then you can see what I'm talking about. Anyway, I do not see Gabe Johnson, Council Member Gabe Johnson here. I do not see Shane. I do not see Kiani, John Pelly, but I see Yukile, Ed, and Jocelyn. You guys they're all here. Maybe if we can have the 3 candidates for upcountry to please come on up, and we will start the show. Next up would be Nohe Hudgens, Hudgens, and Nara Boone. If you guys could just all come up. Just come on up here. We're fine. It's okay. This is all our first time to do here. You're doing a great job there, Ryan. Good job. We're going to have you promoted next year. Okay. Again, on behalf of the directors of the West Maui Taxpayer Association and everyone here in Lahaina, thank you for traveling all the way up country to be here with us. I hope it didn't take you an hour to get here, but if you did, then let's talk to Ed Sniffens. His name is going to be very popular this evening. Anyway, the way it works this evening is that all three of you, you'll have 2 minutes to introduce yourself to every one of us here, and then we will also, after your introduction, all of you will be asked the same question, 3 questions, and you have 1 minute to respond. Michelle here is our timekeeper. She will show you, when you have 1 minute left on the introduction, 30 seconds, and she'll have the 15 seconds up. And when she puts it down, you're going to have to stop saying because we have a lot to cover this evening, so we appreciate that. We don't want to be here till 9 o'clock in the evening. So, again, thank you so much. All right. So, at this time, I would like to perhaps start with Council Member Yukile Sugimura to tell us, do a 2-minute introduction. Thank you.
Aloha, everybody, and I have to say I love Lahaina. I'm born and raised here, so I graduated from Baldwin High School, and when I was growing up, we would do adventures on the weekend when I could drive, and we would go to Lahaina Luna and visit the dorm boys at that time, and it was a journey. I want to tell you that I'm the budget chair, and this budget, which was $1.2 billion that we passed, the council members, which many of them are here, we paid special attention to Lahaina. So when we got the budget, we said, well, this doesn't look like it was for the wildfire disaster, which all of us were very focused with, your council member, Tamara Paulton. So we put in extra money into the Office of Recovery just so that there would be lump sums for in case situations came up that you needed. We put in for housing, infrastructure, everything that we could think of that was important for your rebuild. There is the rest of the island, so we of course took care of our particular districts, which the other council members can speak to you about. But for you in West Maui, I just want to tell you how important you are. For myself as a council member, one of the things I'm focusing on is to do a master plan for water and wastewater, because as you know, when the fire came, your water and wastewater within the core of Lahaina town also melted. So we have a big responsibility to rebuild. So master plan for water, water and wastewater is one of my focus, as well as being able to, and I met these 2 gentlemen here who are talking about what I think is important. I'm concerned about your ability and all of our ability to get homeowners insurance, and the rebuild, I think, has to be with fire protective kind of material so that the insurance companies know that we are rebuilding safe. So those are some of the focuses that I have that is, I think, particularly important because of the wildfire. Thank you.
Aloha, everybody. My name is Jocelyn Cruz. I live upcountry, and I'm a project manager for a farm out in Haiku. So a big focus of my platform is regenerative farming and food security for our island. And one of the things I would like to focus on and work on here on the west side is also restoring Lahaina to being as lush as it once was, because land that is alive and well maintained doesn't burn. So I think it's really important that we focus on keeping it lush and then also feeding our community. This last year I had the opportunity to be part of the production team for the Sunflower Farm Music Festival, and we raised over $30,000 to benefit 3 nonprofits, Grow Some Good, Common Ground Collective, and Maui Food Hub. And I look forward to continuing my work with the island in that capacity, and then working with the incumbent on this side of the island also to understand the needs of the people better here and see how we can make this a collaboration. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Edward Cordelia. I'm running for Maui County Council Upcountry seat. I've been a resident of Maui for 35 years and a realtor. I'm very familiar with the west side. I've sold a lot of property over here. I have a lot of friends that are over here and a lot of family that are over here. And I understand a lot of the issues here. I'm just going to take this opportunity to just say to all of you that live on this side and people that are watching that I am truly sorry for what happened here on August 8th and what's happened ever since. Breaks my heart to be here. It's my first time coming over since the fire and looking around. And what I want to share with you is that the one thing I've learned living here is Maui is the most resilient island in this state. The residents, the people that live here, and the land, we can take it all and get better for it and get stronger. So it's going to take a lot of work to do that, and that's one of the reasons why I put my name on the ballot. And hopefully I'll swing a few votes tonight, and we'll see what happens. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we're going to go ahead with our question. We'll be asking 3 questions. And the first question, I'd like to start with Jocelyn, and then Ed will go, and then Yukile. We just kind of like move around as far as who's going to go. Or if you don't want that, we can flip a coin and then go with that too. But anyway, our first question, Jocelyn, is why should the voters of Maui vote for you as a council member of Upcountry?
I would love to have the voters of Maui vote for me because I am very much a person for the people, and I am very much like a lot of people in the lower income tax bracket. So I understand some of the struggles, a lot of the struggles that we're going through, and because I'm able to relate in that way, and because I have a lot of really good mentors that I'm learning from who are very solution-oriented and directing me very much to the Maui Island Plan, I'm just really excited to start codifying a lot of that and implementing a lot of the steps laid out for us, because there's so many solutions in that to make things much more of an even playing ground for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you. The same question, Ed? Why should the voters of Maui vote for you as a council member of Upcountry?
That is a decision the voters have to make. What I have to say regarding this island and the situation that we're in, the way the government's ran, state and county, I believe should resonate with a lot of people. I think we've gone through a lot of things here on this island. I've been here before the bypass. I remember when Lahaina Luna houses were condemned through eminent domain. A lot of things have been done here that aren't in the best interest of this community, and I think that August 8th is what led us here, and this has to be corrected going forward. There's a lot of things that have to be addressed, and it's going to take a lot of work. And from what I've seen from the county council and the state legislature, until August 8th, there wasn't a lot of work being done. And driving over to this side and looking at this grass, and as brown as it is, it's just the same as it was a year ago. So I'm here for you folks. If you elect me, you're my boss. I answer to all of you. So, you know, I'm here to do your work, whatever that is. You want new tables? I'll go get you new tables. You want paint? We'll get you paint. Whatever you need at this point in time, I don't see any reason why we can't have it.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, we got 1 minute, so out of respect for everybody here in this room and, of course, the other candidates. So, I'm promoting you already. Council members Sugimura, the same question, please.
Yeah, thank you. As I said, I'm born and raised here. My experience is that I was the representative for the Maui representative for U.S. Senator Dan Akaka, as well as Mazie Hirono. And so when I decided to run for this office, I resigned from Mazie Hirono's office, but I still have a very strong connection to the congressional offices. And I think that's very important for the situation that West Maui is in, that we have relationships with the state and the federal government, because we can't do this alone. There's, I'm sure you may have heard, there's CDBG DR funds that are going to be allocated to really West Maui, and it's for the rebuild. And so it's these kind of relationships that I think I have established that's going to help us be stronger and better in the long run. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Sugimura. The next question, Ed, you'll be the first one to respond to this question. The directors of the West Maui Taxpayers Association believe that health, safety, and welfare should be priority. Share with us what your plan to do and address these concerns.
Health, safety, and welfare. Yeah. So, like I said, I've lived here a long time. I know Joe's been trying to get a hospital, and that's still not here. So the hospital. Speak louder. The hospital is a priority for this side. Number one priority. Fire stations are the number 2 priority. Water is number 3 priority. Police are number 4 priority. I mean, this is all what you guys need, what you were lacking on August 8th. There's so many people here, and you have such an inadequate situation with the public safety. So those are the priorities right now. Water, police, fire, water storage is a priority for this side. You need more tanks. You need to be able to hold the water for cases of emergency like that we've had. So those are my priorities. And it's not only for this side of the island. I mean, you guys need it more than anybody, but you're rebuilding from scratch. So you have the opportunity to put in what you guys need. For me, the whole island needs it. We're all suffering for lack of water. The water department is inferior. Police department is short. I think I'm off.
Thank you. Okay. Councilmember Sugimura, same question.
I believe that one of the things that I have worked towards and feel very strongly about is the Oluwalu fire station that actually Joe Pluta, I'm sorry that he's not here, but in March I sent him a text. I said, oh, we're hearing about you at one of the community meetings. The Oluwalu fire station got, I think it was $1.25 million towards it. And then recently I got an email from Joe Pluta saying that all the funding, I'm not too sure what the totals are, have been found for the building of the Oluwalu fire station. Connected to that, on Tuesday night I had an upcountry community meeting, and Chief Brad Ventura was there, and I was so thrilled because guess what? He has ordered or found funding so that you can get your Oluwalu fire truck. They call it apparatus. So I was just like thrilled. I called Joel and I said, guess what? I said, we are thinking about you, right? So thank you very much for that. And I think I told you that I want to do master planning for water, wastewater. And the reason why I want to do that is that the governor signed a bill now that would allow us to do these districts. And then from there, we can actually bond funds and find other, well, basically state funds to help us with these master plan items. Thank you.
I believe that along with that's amazing news that you all are getting a new fire truck. And the need for a hospital on this side is absolutely essential. I also think on top of that affordable housing for first responders and nurses is essential on this side. And if I'm correct, the west side produces a substantial amount of money, not just for Maui, but for the state. So like Ed was saying, I think we absolutely have the means to make this all happen. And if we can work really closely with Angus and with Council Member Palton, we can really understand deeply exactly what you all need and how we can allocate those funds.
Thank you. Again, the third question, last question for the candidates here. Right after the fire in August 2018, The directors of the West Maui Taxpayers Association has been working diligently to have another fire station on West Maui. Actually, we do have the land now, and we have raised a few millions of dollars. So we're ready to go. And, we really need not just one, we need fire stations here on Maui, all throughout the island. I mean, when you see the fire happening in Kihei, Happy Valley the other day, it's pretty scary. Now, do you support another fire station here on West Maui? If no, why? If yes, what are you planning to do to help us with the fire station being built much sooner than later? As we all know, fire is 24/7. We can't wait for that. And we here in Lahaina, we're so scared every time we see something going on there. So again, if you support this, what are your plans so that we here in Lahaina will have this fire station like tomorrow? Yes, please.
Okay, I think I talked about this in your previous question, but there is funding. I don't know, I was hoping Joe would be here so he can tell me how much his private fundraisers has raised. Do you know that?
No, I'm aware of that. We're at about 2.2 million.
You raised
for that,
2.2.
yes.
Okay, in addition to that, then the county has put in the additional 1.25, as well as I announced on Tuesday night, Chief Ventura announced that he actually has ordered, because it takes 3 to 4 years to build a fire truck, he ordered a fire truck for Oluwalu. So those are the kinds of important decisions that happen with great leadership with Chief Ventura, as well as the administration and the council working together. Thank you.
So I'm still very new and learning a lot. And I think whatever zoning and permitting needs to happen to expedite this is absolutely essential. I don't understand, and I'm sure that I'll learn more of why it would take so long, but we have to really prioritize this, because the west side is so far from everything that's essential, all the essential needs, that you all have to drive around to the other side of the island to go to the hospital, or that all the firefighters, I know one of the firefighters personally, Pito Javier, and he was talking about it. He started upcountry fighting the fire, and then he was talking about how they had to leave there and go here, and they didn't even have they couldn't transport enough firefighters with them. So this is something we absolutely need to prioritize, and again, just working with the leadership from this side of the island to get everything expedited so that you all have what you need to feel safe.
100% support 4 fire stations over here. And the money would come from the federal government, as far as I can tell. The guys came here and told you they were going to give you $440 million, approximately, for infrastructure after the fires. So there's money that can easily build some fire stations. So pulling from the federal government is what's going to have to happen to get it. And ultimately, that's where all the money seems to come from, is from the federal government. The county pulls money from them with block grants for housing. So there's a lot of federal money available. It just has to be pulled, and it has to be demanded, as far as I'm concerned. We can't just sit around and wait for them to process it and go through the system. It needs to be done now, and right now is the perfect opportunity to do this. This is where, here, after August 8th and all this stuff we've gone through, this is the opportunity for us to fix this island and move it forward, and not just stay stagnant. 2 years later, we'll be here again, and we'll listen to the same stories of what the county council is going to do. And we don't need it.
Thank you. All right, that concludes for our candidate from upcountry, but please make yourself available, because I'm sure the audience will have a lot more questions for you. So again, thank you so much. We appreciate it. Thank you. Next, we're asking for Council Member Nohe O'Hodgins and Narrowboon to please come on up. Aloha. These two ladies are vying for the seat of Makawao, Haiku, and Paia. Again, as I had mentioned earlier, you ladies will have an opportunity to introduce yourself, 2 minutes, and then we'll go ahead with the Q&A. So, Nara, you can go ahead, go first.
Aloha. I don't know if you can see me. My name is Nara Boone, and I'm running for the Makawao Haiku Paia seat of the Maui County Council. I am a longtime haiku resident, and I also have been employed on this side of the island for many years. I think I was doing gigs at 505 when I was like 15 years old, way back in the day. I am a singer and voice teacher, but I also am co-founder of the Maui Housing Hui that was established late 2022 to help deal with the housing crisis. And I'm also the Maui facilitator for Wisdom Circles Oceania, which brings therapeutic art and music programs to fire survivors. And we have an event tomorrow for community organizers, like a Malama Day, to just allow them to put the weight down they've been carrying for these 11 months. I was asked to run last time. My family is a long-standing family. We've been here a while, and a lot of community engagement. We have a lot of community engagement. This time around, I'm running because I really feel it's important to have community voices at decision-making tables, now more than ever. And I want to be that voice. I am not in office, but I am in many meetings weekly to help our community, and I would like to do that on a larger level. So thank you all for being here. It's nice to see so many faces actually making it out. Aloha.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. If you don't mind, I'm going to sit down as I hate public speaking, and this makes me feel more comfortable. You'd think I'd be used to it, but I'm really not. My name is Nohe U'u Hajins. I was born and raised in Paia. I live in Makawao now with my husband and our 4 kids. Majority of my life has actually been spent in the Paia Makawao Haiku area. I lived in, obviously, Paia, as I just said. I live in Makawao now, and I lived in Haiku for a while with my ex, who we happily share children with, even though we're still not together. Currently, I am the chair for the Great Committee, which we confirm directors, people who want to volunteer on boards and commission, settle litigation, and do anything that could go into 2 or more committees, which you think isn't a lot, but it kind of is. I am running, this is my 2nd term. My goal in life and in this job is to just ensure that my children and everybody else's children, should they decide to, have an opportunity to continue to live on Maui. As I said, I was born and raised here, and that option is seeming less and less so. In my former life, I did affordable housing and workforce housing, and I hope to continue to do that in this role as well. Thank you so much for having us today.
Thank you, Nohe. Since you have the microphone, I'll go ahead and you go ahead and answer the first question, which would be, why should the voters of Maui vote for you as a council member of Makawao, Haiku, and Paia?
Okay, thank you for that question. I was taking notes when we were sitting down, and my response is, ugh. As a local person, it is so difficult to tell people why you should vote for me. It's very, very uncomfortable. But I guess that's what we have to do. If you so choose to vote for me, 1, I would appreciate it. 2, you would know that I am quite fair and balanced. I have long-standing roots in this community. While I'm not from Lahaina, I'm a long time paddler. So every summer, every Saturdays, my family was out here paddling in this water. My family is from here too. We're from Maui, so everybody lived everywhere. I understand how much this community is very tight-knit, and I will do my best to respect everyone. And like I said, I think I'm just pretty fair and pretty balanced, and my goal is to get along well with everybody. And I'm running out of time, so thank you.
Thank you.
So this is the why you should vote for me?
Yes.
Good, okay.
I know.
Well, first of all, everyone should vote, and everyone should get their friends to vote and have them get their friends to vote, because the main thing is that we need everyone as a collective to make the decisions. And I don't think that that has happened. In the last election, Nohe and I ran against each other, but the voting numbers were rather dismal, and we need to change that. And I'm really hoping that now is the time that the community activates. I don't know about a vote for me. As Nohe said, that is really uncomfortable to say. I will tell you that I am experiencing a lot of the same issues that many of you are. And I have been housing insecure, 3 days away from losing my place several times now. And the experience that that brings and the understanding of the emotional impact that has on you is something I feel really heavily, and I will definitely advocate for all of you.
Thank you, Nara. Okay, this for you, Nara, since you'll be the first one to respond to this question. The directors of the West Maui Taxpayers Association believe that health, safety, and welfare should be a priority. Share with us what you plan to do to address these concerns for us here on West Maui.
I think it all comes down to housing. I don't know that we as a community can be healthy when we're all so stressed about keeping a roof over our heads. Stress takes its toll, physically, mentally, emotionally. I think we can fix our economy by fixing our housing situation. If we want people to be serving these tourists, then we need to put our people in homes. And the only way that people can recover right now from all of this, I don't want to keep using really negative words, but the way for us to all heal is to feel safe. And the way to feel safe is to feel secure and have a roof over your head. And that is the main issue that needs to be solved. Thank you.
My turn? Okay.
Sorry about that.
I was waiting for your direction, but I'm happy to just go.
Go ahead.
Okay. I won't mention the fire station because I know that one's coming up next. But as a mom, and like you are as well, okay, thank you. Health, safety, and welfare is always my top concern. I don't disagree with Nara that housing always provides permanency, allows everybody to feel safe. So I agree with you. That is 100%. We need access to housing and more of it. I do feel as a community we can do a couple of things to make ourselves just a little bit more safe. As a council, we have definitely ensured that our fire department and our police department are well funded and have everything they need to ensure our community safety. As a council, we just passed the master plan for roads and infrastructure to ensure that the road widths can allow for a fire truck to get through. I know Lahaina, no different than Paia, is a very old town with very old roads that do not allow when people park all over the roads, which I understand we all have to do because we live in multi-generational housing, does not allow for a fire truck to pass. So we're going to ensure that where we can, that is met, and they're going to be coming out to you. The RFP just went out last week, and so you should be hearing about that soon. But thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, the final question. Right after the fire in August 2018, the directors of West Maui Taxpayers Association has been working diligently to have another fire station here on West Maui. Do you support another fire station here on West Maui? If no, why? If yes, what are you planning to do to help us with the fire station being built much sooner than later? Nohe, go ahead.
Yes, I support it. I supported it 2 years ago when we were out here. And I support it still. I support, I think this one just went out. Can you hear me? Okay, now. I think this one's working, but thank you. I do support fire stations, more fire stations throughout Maui County, one in Haiku that's desperately needed, and probably another one in Central Maui, as you're well aware about all the fires. My husband is a fireman, and I understand how important fire safety is. I know Nara's brother is also a fireman. And as council, we have supported the fire department in making sure they have the money they need for the apparatuses. Just today, too, in Member Cook's committee, we discussed how we can expedite building permits. That is going to be crucial, and land entitlements will be crucial. I know you folks just got the land. And so as a county and as a council member with a husband who's a fireman, I'm happy to support the state. Hope maybe if you need allocation into switching the land entitlements, if not, pushing to help and ensure that gets done. My former life, I did do building permits, so if you do need help, you let me know.
Thank you. Make a note of that, Michelle. Nara, go ahead.
Well, as Nohe said, my brother is a firefighter, and he was working in Kula, and then he was working out here. And I know how hard it was for the firemen that are used to winning, you know? They're used to winning when they fight fires. And this was a hard lesson in the opposite direction. I support more fire stations on the island. I worry about Olawalu because I worry about the infrastructure being laid for other things. I think instead of focusing on that, perhaps, or maybe simultaneously, we focus on the reason why there was no water in Lahaina at the time. That's what we need to look at. That's what we need to look at with what's happening. The fire this morning in Wai'ehu, right? It happens kind of every other day. We need to hold landowners responsible for taking care of their properties in Paia, in Wai'ehu, in Kihei, in Lahaina, all of these places. That is what is needed right now. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, ladies. That concludes your portion of the evening. Okay, next we have South Maui candidates, Council Member Tom Cook and Kelly King. Please come on up. And Johnny, I'm so sorry. John Pronis, please come on up. I apologize. Thank you. I'm sorry. Okay. All of you, each one of you will have 2 minutes to introduce yourself, who you are, and then thereafter we will be asking you the same 3 questions you've heard before. Though I've decided I might throw in a little curveball there to see what you can do for us here. I'm going to make it a little tougher here. So anyway, if you would just go ahead, and we could start with you, Council Member Cook. Let us know all about Mr. Tom Cook.
Aloha, everybody. My name's Tom Cook. My name tag's over there. But thank you for the invitation from West Maui Taxpayers Association to come over and introduce ourselves and to participate in this forum. I am currently the South Maui representative. This is my first term. I'm running for re-election. I'm a father of 4, a grandfather of 5. I'm a transplant. I moved here in 1970 as a teenager. Married a girl from Makawao. I'm a carpenter by trade. I have a GED, not a PhD. I've been spending basically the last 50-something years of my life working construction. I love to build. I'm a retired general contractor with subcontractor licenses for structural concrete and for civil work. And I'm currently the chair of water and infrastructure on the council. I'm 69 years old. I'm going to be 70 this year. I'm not a career politician. The reason I'm here is basically because I've been for years participating and attempting to improve the permitting process and to facilitate getting houses built. And Maui has a lot of talent. We have the ability to build homes. Our problems are social and political, not financial or technical. And we as a community need to come together, join hands, and agree that building homes and apartments for our residents is a good thing and what we want to do. We talk about it, and then right away people start disagreeing. I want to build a lot of homes. I'd like to build like 25,000 homes in the next 15 or 20 years. And people say, well, we don't want people from the mainland to move here. I do. I want a lot of the people, the local people that have moved to Vegas and other areas to come home. So I think that I believe we have the water, the resources, the ability to build and grow without jeopardizing the quality of life or our environment. So that's my introduction, and I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Kelly?
Aloha, everyone. My name is Kelly Takaya King, and I'm running again for South Maui District, Maui County Council seat. I served 3 terms, previously stepped down to run for mayor unsuccessfully, as probably many of you know. But I'm running not to regain a title, but to continue the job of representing the underrepresented, of responding to the folks' needs and working with our nonprofits to help protect our environment and our natural resources. We constantly have outside companies and corporations coming in trying to garner our natural resources for their own use. And I'm a big believer in local control and what we can do for ourselves and the circular economy. I've been a resident of South Maui for 40 plus years. My husband and I just celebrated our 40th anniversary last year in September. And we have 2 beautiful children who are adults and 2 grandchildren. We've also run 2 successful businesses in Maui County. King Diesel, which was, many of you may have recognized my husband, Bob King, who was one of the main mechanics down at Lahaina Harbor for many, many years during the 80s. And Pacific Biodiesel, which we still own and operate, and will be in our 30th year next year. So we're excited to be continuing that renewable energy company. We're the oldest biodiesel company in America, and we have the most experience. Also, our sunflower farm, which many of you may have stopped to see. We are in our 4th year planning the next Maui Sunflower Farm Music Festival, which has been a great fundraiser for food security efforts in Maui County, and we're really happy to be supporting that and supporting regenerative agriculture. I spent a lot of time in Lahaina in my youth. I worked in Lahaina, I worked in Kaanapali, I worked in Kahana, and mostly in the tourism booking activities industry. And I have a photo album from the 80s of Lahaina and Lahaina Harbor and all my friends here that I can't even look at after the fire because it's so heartbreaking. So I'm looking forward to getting back on the council and getting more involved. I've kind of stayed out of what's happening in Lahaina because I do feel that Lahaina folks should determine your own rebuild and how things are going to go. But I do want to get involved in helping with that collaboration, helping with resources and getting grants. One of the things that I worked on for Lahaina, I'm sorry, my time is about up. Okay, I just wanted to say I'm very interested in affordable housing as well, and I was able to get 2 affordable rental projects started and completed in my first 3 terms. People moved in. Thank you.
Thank you. Johnny, go ahead.
Aloha. My name is Johnny Keone Pronis. This is my first politician that I'm in, and so far it is a big job. So yeah. So my platform here is about dreams, voices, and the future of Maui. So what I'm talking about is I'm putting the people first. I want to work with all of you. I want the government to have transparency and giving South Maui a voice in my community. And how to do that is try to bring the community together. And for me to be in that kind, I want to have trust because I want to represent all of you to stand beside because it's time for the next generation as myself to fulfill that obligation. And for all of you that want to, vote, please come out and vote because your vote matters in the Maui County. And first is I want to bring back the history that we lost a lot from the fire, from the pandemic. You know, I know all of you lost loved ones, and I'm so sorry about that. So right now we need to move forward and speak out for what we believe in. And this is the time we need to do that. And so far, if you read on my website, I just last minute put it on there. It's Your Votes Matters with the S for votes and then matters.com. So if you look into it, it tells us history. It's like a story that fulfills what I did in the past, that I want to give what you guys want in this community. And, you know, like what Lahaina needs is the history that we want to build in there, and for the people that we want to give back. Thank you.
Thank you, Johnny. Go ahead and take the microphone because you will be able to respond to the first question. As we all know, though we are here in West Maui, all of you, all 9 council members, can make a difference to what's happening here in Lahaina. And, you know, again, sometimes we feel like we're not getting the kind of representation that we would like to have. However, with that in mind, why should the voters of West Maui vote for you as a council member of South Maui?
As I said, that, you know, I'm a born and raised local person for 36 years, and it's time to give back and to restore the history that we lost. And we want to fulfill, because as of right now, there's no aloha. There's no the aloha spirit here. You know, tourists are just, you know, doing their own thing, but not being educated of what needs to be safe and respectful in our culture here. So, being said with that is, you know, Lahaina is so precious, just like in Hawaii, you know. We live off the land, we live off the water, you know. We're so lucky that we have all of these things, because if not, I don't know where we would go to. And that's why we need to keep locals and, you know, resources here in Hawaii, not let them go somewhere else, especially families. And it's hard for them to just move off and go somewhere else when, you know, don't just give up. There's hope and faith in what we need to do here. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pronis. Council Member Cook, could you please respond to that same question? Why should we here in West Maui vote for you?
I look at West Maui as West Maui is its own identity in its own area, but I look at Maui County as one entity. I think that one of the things that I did as Chair of Water and Infrastructure, along with the help of the council this year, is allocate $10 million towards for the Department of Water Supply to look for and purchase private water systems on West Maui, and to strive to have the municipality, the Department of Water Supply, become more of the supplier. So that's one thing. Also working to get R1 water from running it north to free up palatable water, and to utilize the R1 water for fire protection and for various reasons. I'd like to see West Maui get a hotel, a hospital. And one of the things that I'm a strong advocate of is holding the county accountable for land use and permitting review, because the delays add to the cost, and it delays the ability for it to be able to provide services to people. And I think that my skill set and expertise lend itself to be able to do that. Thank you.
Thank you, Council Member Cook. Ms. King?
You know, I'm really excited about being part of the rebuild in Lahaina, and I have experience having worked here. I have 30 years of business experience, and before that 15 years with our previous company. And one of the things that happens when you have that much business experience is you get a lot of contacts across the state. So one of the first, I have a reputation for being results-oriented, responsive, and collaborative. And one of the very first collaborations I did for Lahaina, even before I got elected, was the year I was running for office. There was that issue at mile 16, I think it was, with water coming in and people not wanting the hardening there. And so I called up Ford Fujigami, who I knew who was the head of the Department of Transportation, asked him to come down and meet with the community, which he did, even though the community was suing him. And in one day, they worked out a solution for that. So that's me. I'm very solutions-oriented. I've done a ton of legislation that's passed successfully thanks to the council understanding what we were trying to do and saving our natural resources. I worked with Tamara Paulton on bringing respirator masks in and training the Public Works Department on how to use those respirator masks, but I am willing to jump in and help wherever needed, and I have an affinity for the West Side as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next question. We'll start with you this time, Councilmember Cook. The directors of the West Maui Taxpayers Association believe that health, safety, and welfare should be the priority. Share with us what your plans to address these concerns.
Thank you. Thank you for the question. I'm going to touch upon what I said in my last answer. Basically, when it comes to building a fire station, a hospital, the roads, any infrastructure, the best way that what I feel government needs to do is be more accommodating and less regulatory. We need to do things for health and we need to basically maintain health and safety, but you can build a house in 180 days. It shouldn't take 300 days to get a permit. And similarly, for a road permit, a road project, especially if it's a state or a county road, and it shouldn't take as long as it does. I don't think that the people who are doing it are negligent or incompetent. I think that our system needs to be addressed and refined so that it is meeting the goals and the objectives, and it's all of us holding ourselves and our government accountable to measure what's being done, how long it's taking, and why is it taking that long.
Thank you. Ms. King? Yes. The directors of the West Maui Taxpayers Association believe that health, safety, and welfare should be priority. Share with us what you plan to do to address these concerns.
Thank you for that question. I think one of the biggest issues, especially in the wake of the wildfire, has been mental health services. We need to shore up our mental health services. The council has not historically been given a lot of funding to mental health services, but that's one of the things the kids here from some of the schools here did a survey. I was on a panel that was asked to review some of the projects that the kids were working on, and they came up with the number one issue in the West Side is mental health. So I think that's one of the first things that we have to look at in the wake of the wildfire. I do support a fire station, and we have 2 in South Maui. We should have 2 in West Maui. You know, you guys are just as remote as we are from Central, and we cannot afford, we had all of the fire stations during the fire. Kihei was here as well. We need to have another station here as soon as possible. And by the way, I was able to get a fire truck for our station in Kihei when I first got on the council because we had aging fire trucks. It only took 2 years. It did not take 4 years to build that. I do support the hospital as well, and I understand there's some county legislation that really needs to get passed that got put on hold, so that would be one of my top priorities is getting that letter forwarded so that we can get that support we need for the state to build the hospital. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Pronis?
So as you can read on my platform, I was a volunteer at American Red Cross when the disaster started, and just being there and helping everybody that needed help is a wake-up call, and just trying to educate the public and the community that there is still hope and you're not alone. And this is why we need to educate the public and the community, and we need training to get all these stuff situated. Because if there's nothing like that, like, look what happened to the wildfire. Nobody didn't know what to do. We need a preparedness, to educate, or like a evacuation route, or tsunami evacuation. All these kind of stuff should have been in place. I don't know what happened, but I want to put that in place for the community, because that's what it's supposed to be. And I know we had it in the phone books, but how long has the phone books hasn't been out? I don't know. But yeah, this is a new year. This is the time that we need to focus on getting new resources.
Thank you, Mr. Ponis. Thank you. Okay, this last question, Ms. King, I'd like for you to be the first one to respond. Right after the fire in 2018, the directors of the West Maui Taxpayers Association has been working diligently to have another fire station in West Maui. Yes, we do have the land right now, and we're still continuing to do fundraiser to be able to build that fire station. I'm heard that all of you support the fire station, so thank you so much. Now that you support it, tell us, what are you going to do to help this fire station to be built much sooner than later?
Well, it's called CIP, Capital Improvement Projects, and we can fund it through the budget. And I think my second to my last year on the council put $43 million in the CIP budget to build Hula Halau in Central Maui. How many millions is it going to take to build the fire station? I think we can put that into the budget. And CIP budget items are 5-year projects. So you put a total amount, you put how much you're going to spend every year, and that CIP project is funded by county bonds. So if the money is the issue, I'm thrilled to find out that you have the land. I know that the fire department is looking at grants. I haven't heard that they actually got one yet, but the funding needs to come from the county council, I believe. That's how we funded every other fire station on this island. So I'm there. I'm willing to vote aye.
Thank you. Mr. Ponis?
Yes, I do approve for more fire station. But the thing is, we need to update all these fire hydrants. It's a lack of, it might be old or wear and tear. So this is what we need to improve in our community is, update all these fire hydrants and building more fire stations and getting more people to, come out and work and get more people that want to be firefighters to educate the public and the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ponis. Councilmember Cook?
Thank you. My proposal for the fire station and for any other major capital improvement is basically once you get the budget and the location, you do a Gantt, work with the departments to get a Gantt chart so that you can basically map out the design phase, the construction phase, and then that's how you hold people accountable and how you map to it. Inevitably, there's challenges and there's obstacles, and to be able to identify them promptly and quickly enables you to solve the challenges. But any construction project that is delayed costs more money. Any construction project that is delayed is wasting money. So I think that the community working with government, this is one of the things I've done in my first term is developing a relationship with the directors. My main thing that I told them the whole year was, allow me to help you. Help me help you. So what challenges do you have within the departments? What's causing delays? How can the legislative branch be enabling to you to streamline things and get them done without jeopardizing health and safety? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilmember Cook. That concludes our candidate for South Maui. Thank you. Okay, next I'd like to call on Councilmember Tasha Kama and Carol Lee Kamikona. Thank you. Thank you, ladies. I just love the way you two ladies smile at me. Makes me standing here, even though I'm kind of like my legs is shaking. It's because I've been standing too long. But anyway, ladies,
Grab a chair. We
thank
got
you
one.
so
You
much.
should sit right here.
That's okay. I love being here because everybody tells me, like, man, you're tall for a Filipino. So I'm enjoying it. Thank you. All right, ladies. Again, as we mentioned earlier, you have 2 minutes to introduce yourself, who you are. Of course, we know who you are, but we wanted to know more about you. And then from there, 2 minutes each, and then we'll go ahead and ask you your questions. So, Carolee, you want to go? Okay. Councilmember Kama, you want to start? Or you want to flip a coin?
No, mahalo. So the Aloha spirit is alive and well in this room. So my name is Tasha Kama. I'm a mother of 11 children, a grandmother of 31, and great-grandma of 5, and many more to come. And I share that with you because the reason why I run is to secure my children's future. And I think as parents, that's what we do. We spend our whole lives, no matter how old our children are, making sure that they are okay. So I make sure that my children are okay by doing a few things with them when they were younger. 1, we go to church. 2, we pray. And 3, we hold each other up. That's what we did. And so those are the things that I do even today in my life on the council. You don't hear a lot from me when I speak. It's because I'm praying. I will tell you that honestly. There are some things that happen that I hear, I don't like, it hurts me, but I'm praying that God give me wisdom to either speak or not to speak. Because sometimes we say things too quick and we say things that we shouldn't. Or maybe we don't say anything when we really should say something. So those times when I'm not speaking, because I really am asking for help and guidance, because I do not know all of the answers to all of the questions that you all are going to have. I have to represent every one of you, whether you voted for me or not, whether you are a registered voter or not, or whether you are even an American citizen. I have to represent all of you. And because of that, I have to be fair in all of my deliberations, because I love you and I care about all of you. Thank you.
Aloha. As Tasha mentioned, the value of aloha is here in this room, and that's why we together honeyed each other and shared each other's breath, because that is our culture and that is what we do. Aloha no, my name is Carolee Kamikona, and I am running for the Maui County Council's Kahului residency seat. I am a mother, a single mother, who raised 7 children. With the 7 children, I learned what it was like to deal with different personalities and different characters, which helped me to foster a good and effective line of communication to each and every one of them, to be able to listen and hear what they're trying to tell me in their own little way. As a retired veteran of 22 years in the United States Navy, my leadership values were fostered for dignity, transparency, respect, honesty. I ask for your vote. My passion is truly, truly affordable housing that allows not only our residents to stay home, but also to bring back those who have had to leave. We need to take care of our people. We need them home, because as it has been said earlier, without the people, there is no aloha. And Maui has the aloha. So again, I mahalo West Maui Taxpayers Association for inviting me, and for all of you. Mahalo.
Thank you. Okay, the first question, Ms. Kamikona, is going to be, you're going to start it off. I did not realize that this would be an uncomfortable question, but we want to know why the voters of Maui should vote for you as a council member of Kahului.
So thank you for that question, Rick. No, it's not an uncomfortable question. First off, what I would like to say is each registered voter here can vote for all 9 council members, okay? Council is not district, so you can vote for all 9 of us regardless of where you live. The reason why I'm running and the reason why I ask for your vote is I believe in the values of Aloha Aina to guide our community toward progress, resilience, and prosperity. Along with my unique blend of military discipline, leadership in numerous nonprofit organizations, and direct advocacy for truly affordable housing, again, to bring our people home. For cultural preservation, for the protection of our iwi kupuna, and for Kanaka land rights. Mahalo.
Thank you. Council Member Kama?
Thank you. It is an uncomfortable question for us, for me, also, because I'm not used to talking about myself or bragging about what I did, what I can do, what I've accomplished. So it's not easy. But I am not ashamed to ask you to vote for me based upon who I am. I have spent a lifetime in my community, serving in my children's school, serving in the church, serving you. I know that I was born to serve, and I will serve to the best of my ability all the time. And given the mind, and given the tools, and given the support that surrounds me, is why I ask for your vote. But the most important thing is, I'm very likable. And to be able to get 8 other people to go along with you and to vote the way you are asking them to vote on a particular issue is important. Relationships. Thank you.
Thank you, Council Member Kama. I'll go ahead and hold on to that microphone because this question, you're going to respond to this question first. The directors of the West Maui Taxpayers Association believe that health, safety, and welfare should be the priority. Please share with us what you plan to do to address these concerns for us here in West Maui.
When I think about health, safety, and welfare, I think about these things. The physical health of a person, the emotional health, the financial health, the spiritual health. Working. Can you all hear me? Kelly? Okay, I'm so sorry. Can go? Okay, so I think about the physical health of people, the emotional well-being of people. I think about their spiritual well-being. I think about the whole person in totality and what it is that they need to keep themselves healthy, to keep their families well taken care of. It is a lot of work to do that. As a mom, it is even more work to do that as a representative sitting on a council seat trying to take care of 20, 30, 40, 50,000 people and all of their needs together. So for me, the health and welfare and safety of your community is really how we take care of each other, how we love each other, how we check up on each other. Tonight, Pastor Lucky said, turn to the person next to you and say, aloha. You know what you're really telling that person? I love you. And I believe in you. And I see you. And I will be there for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Council Member Kama. Ms. Kamikona, same question.
Health, safety, and welfare. So welfare is the welfare of the entire community. For me, I would like to support any kind of training, any kind of workshop, any research for grants, so we can promote small business. We need circular economy We need our people to be able to be sustainable, to stay home. Yes? We can't be dependent on importation of 90% of what we utilize. Also working with the state and county to build the much needed hospital yesterday. Not today, not tomorrow, yesterday. West Side needs its own hospital. Most importantly, the water infrastructure. We need to take that away from private ownership, because that is basically what caused the fires, in my opinion, that did not allow our firefighters to have the resources necessary. So, mahalo.
Thank you, Ms. Kamikona. Go ahead and be the first one to respond to this. Right after the fire in August 2018, the director of West Maui Taxpayers Association has been working diligently to have another fire station. I see you support the fire station. So, we need your help. We need every council member to help, because that fire station not only will help Lahaina, it will help everybody in the county of Maui. So what are you planning to do to help us, the people of West Maui, the people of the county of Maui, have this fire station be built much sooner than later?
So I totally support the fire station being here. You can't put a number on the amount of support that I have for that. Reason being is, Chief Ventura mentioned at the emergency preparedness meeting that Council Member Sugimura had the other night. He said having a fire station in one area doesn't necessarily only service that area, because depending on where the fire is, he relocates them accordingly to help out the communities, yeah? So, in supporting that, I would work with all entities, and like Kelly King talked about, budget with CIP and possibly bonds, yeah? Whatever we can do to acquire the monies needed to do that. Also, what I'd like to see is providing more modern equipment, maybe the Sikorsky 370 Firehawk, because that can be utilized not only for fire, but also for rescue. Looking at what they utilized for the upcountry Corridor Road fire, they had the military helicopters. I think that would be a good thing for the fire department to also have, even if it's just one for the county of Maui. We can share. We know how to share. But at least have one that has the bigger buckets that can drop more water. So providing more equipment, modern equipment for our firefighters, and then also having trainings, workshops, and recruitment, because we need more firefighters, and in order to get more firefighters, we need them to have housing. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Kamikona. Councilmember Kama, same question.
Thank you. Everybody supports the fire department. Everybody who hasn't come up yet are going to say yes, they support that. Because of the fire, it's common sense, right? We have to. But not just in Lahaina, but all over the place. But I want to share something with you. You know, as council people, councilors, our job is to actually balance the budget and approve the mayor's amendments to any budget item that comes before us. And we can recommend policies, and in the end, it is the mayor and his administration that will implement those policies. So, you know, I remember when I first came in, and Chief Tyne was the director, and we wanted to give him so much money. You know what he told us? No, don't give me the money because I can't use it. So really, if the chief says this is what he needs, we're going to get what the chief needs. If the chief doesn't tell us what he needs, we're not going to give it to him, because they are the department. They know what they need most. So we want to give them what they want. So when Chief Bradley comes to us, we tell him, okay, Chief, we'll give it to you. But most important thing, infrastructure. Without the water, without the wastewater, there's nothing that anything would be done, even housing. Without those two things, nothing gets done, nothing gets built. But just so that you all know that it's really up to the department chiefs and the directors to tell the council what they have need of, because they will be the implementers. Thank you. Sorry.
Thank you. The next time someone says to the council, we don't need the money, call us at the West Maui Taxpayer. We know exactly where to put that money. We need some tables here. Thank you, ladies. We appreciate it.
I'd just like to say on behalf of Auntie Tasha and myself, thank you very much to the West Maui Taxpayers Association for putting this forum on for us, because we are not in the primary, we are only in the general. So mahalo to each and every one of you for coming and being here and listening to us. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Isn't this wonderful that, even though we're all running for office here, that we can make fun, we could joke with each other and not so serious. And that's the reason why just the two ladies had said earlier, you can feel the aloha in this room. I think that is something that we need to share to all the other candidates outside of Hawaii. So anyway, thank you, ladies. At this time, I would like to call on Council Chair Alice Lee and Mr. James Forrest to please come on up. We're moving along real nicely here. So please hang around. I'm sure a lot of the people here will have more questions to ask you, and so that they could learn more about who you are, what you're all about, and what are you going to do for us here in West Maui. Yes, we're being selfish because, again, we feel like we're being left out all the time. I'm going to keep talking about that until it gets into your head that we here on West Maui need your help. And let's start with a very easy one. We need tables here.
Yes.
Okay, as I had said earlier, again, you have 2 minutes to, introduce yourselves. Tell us who you are, I should say, and then we'll go there for questioning. Let's start off with Council Chair Alice Lee.
Thank you very much, Rick, and aloha to everyone. Appreciate the invitation to be here, and always good to be on the west side. My name is Alice Lee. I'm running for re-election to the Maui County Council, the Wailuku Waikapu Waihe'e seat. Now, I've been on Maui for a very long time. My parents were born here. My children, grandchildren. I went to school in Wailuku at St. Anthony's School. My mother originally is from, and her family originally from Wailuku. That would be the Kanakamaikai family. I am running for re-election because I think we have lots of work to finish. I think we've had a very productive council, and all of who you can be very proud of. We are especially supportive of your representative, Tamara Paulton, and we want to continue our work because, as Pro Tem Kama mentioned earlier, we try to let everyone know that our role is quite different from the administration's role. And I'll talk a little bit more about this as we go along. It's very important to know the distinction, because we shouldn't stand up here and say we're going to do this and that when we don't even have that authority. So that's why it's important to understand that. Also, I would like you to know that my background is primarily from the private sector and nonprofit sector. I was the chair of Women Helping Women's board for many years, as well as other nonprofit boards, Maui Hui Malama, and quite a few others. I started the nonprofit Executive Directors Association. My mother, in particular, was extremely kind to everyone, and it's in my DNA. It's in all of our DNAs, because when we were growing up, she would invite everybody to stay at our house, and to the point where my younger brother thought we were the first homeless shelter on Maui. And until today, our family is very much involved in that. We have a nonprofit called New Leaf, where we help those transitioning out of prison have a place to stay, because oftentimes, unfortunately, those who come out of prison have burnt many of their bridges, unfortunately, with their families, wives, girlfriends, friends, so they have nowhere to go. And if you're on parole, you cannot be released until you have a residence. So that's the reason why we try and do that as a family. And so our heart and soul is with Maui County and will always be there. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Forrest?
Aloha, I'm James Forrest. A lot of people call me Forrest. I'm an attorney. I've been working in law and public policy, public service most of my life. I was working on Kauai about 7 years ago, and I got notice of a group of people called the Pono Network and the progressive majority that took over the council. And I decided that I wanted to work with those people. I supported their agenda. I'm definitely an environmental attorney. Near and dear to my heart are the issues that the Pono Network has fought for, the individual candidates and the office holders that have held true to those ideals, or the people who have been my role model, and that's why I'm here. I had the pleasure to work with the council for 3 years, where I was passing laws, I was writing laws. Mainly, what I believe the council's role is, you are a lawmaker, okay? You have the opportunity to see that there's a problem, the community comes to you, and you have the amazing power and obligation to respond to it by creating legislation. I fought for that legislation. Whenever members had an idea, from the very beginning of the idea to make it into a bill, I help them. I bring together a coalition of people. I do the research. I make sure that the law is actually allowed to be presented by the county and within the powers. But more than that, we fought against opposition. Every step of the way, we fought against people that were trying to prevent us from protecting the environment, prevent us from helping local people. And that's the part that is really my passion, standing up and fighting. Now, being an attorney for 20 years, I have amazing skills. I've been working with great people. I've had great mentors. I am now in that position in my life where I'm ready to use those tools, my valuable assets, to actually solve the problems that you have today. And that's what I have to offer as a candidate. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Forrest. First question would be for you, Mr. Forrest, to respond, and is that, we'd like to know why we, the voters of Maui, should vote for you as council member of Wailuku.
Thank you for that question. The number one reason is going to be change. I think that everyone in this room, everyone on the island, is ready for change. From the national level, you've seen it, where Biden went before the public yesterday, and everybody appreciated their hard work. Everyone said, we are with you, and now he passed along the torch to the next generation. I think that's time now. We have people that have been in our council for 20 years, 17 years, 8 years, whatever that be. I think it's time to thank them for their service and to pass the torch to the next generation. Now, why you would vote for me, particularly the number one reason is that blank ballot wins a lot of elections. We can't vote blank. You have the obligation and the moral, basically the moral responsibility to vote for all of the districts. So if you're voting for your district, you need to vote for the Wailuku district. What I will offer is I will be an ally for the new progressive majority that's going to be in the council next session. I will be a part of that team.
Thank you, Mr. Forrest. Council Chair Lee.
Thank you. The reason why I'm asking you to vote for me is because I'm much better looking than Forrest. Just kidding. No, you're pretty. You're pretty. In these trying times, you wouldn't choose a rookie to fight major fires. You want somebody who is seasoned, who's experienced, who knows the lay of the land, and who's not afraid to make a commitment to handle any challenge before us. And this is how I believe I can continue to do the work. And if you know me, and if you ask any one of the council members here, they'll tell you that I'm fair, I'm open, and I support them as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Council Chair Lee. Okay, this question is for you to first respond. The directors of the West Maui Taxpayers Association believe that health, safety, and welfare should be the priority. Share with us your plans to address these concerns for us here on West Maui.
I'd be happy to. You have a very strong advocate in Joanne Weiner, as you know, and Joe Pluta, and you yourself, as well as the West Maui Taxpayers Association, has been fighting for a hospital for years now, years. And I've been trying to help Joe and Joanne as much as I can. As a matter of fact, I'm surprised she's not here tonight because she's been texting me today for help. The help she needs is with the mayor's office. And I am going to make sure that I contact him again tomorrow to see what is holding up the guarantor document for the West Maui Hospital. So that is a high priority for me, as well as supporting a new fire station. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Forrest?
Thank you. And there's definitely a contrast between the candidates here. Part of what I want to emphasize is the responsibility of a council member to take action. These problems aren't new, okay? We've had these problems for decades. You should not try to find a solution to a problem after your town has burned down. That's just the honest answer. And look at what members of the current majority of the council have done in the last couple of years. Look back in the last 6 years. Look back in the last 10 years. I would challenge you to find any piece of legislation that they've actually championed. It's a part of your job. Write legislation to solve the problems. Don't just go around defeating everyone else's ideas. Write legislation. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Forrest, I am sure you will support then our fire station. So tell us exactly what you would like to do to ensure that that fire station is built much sooner than later.
Okay, thank you. And, you know, again, it's been said here before, this should have been and could have been dealt with 10 years ago. Okay, now we're trying to play catch up. Now, one thing that you guys haven't talked about now is what I want to focus on is what are the powers of the county? And the powers of the county are to raise property taxes and to use that revenue to help the public. Okay, over here you have a lot of hotel properties and you have a lot of rental properties there for short-term rental, stuff like that. Raising property taxes on hotels would provide you with another $5 million that you need. And that's an actual power of the county that should have been done a long time ago. Now you have that power right now. You earmark that money. You set aside that money. You focus on rebuilding Lahaina with increased taxes on hotel properties.
Thank you, Mr. Forrest. Council Chair Lee?
Yes, of course, I'm going to support the fire station, and the funding that will come will be from various sources. Yeah? And unfortunately, my opponent here doesn't realize, I guess he was on Kauai at the time, but I haven't been on the council for 10 years. It's going on 6 years. So big difference. Blame the other people 10 years ago. We have serious work here. We need to diversify our economy. We need to diversify our revenue base. And we have new ideas to do that. We just need that opportunity and your support to achieve it. Thank you.
Thank you, Council Chair Lee. I believe that concludes the question for you as the Wailuku Council candidate. So thank you for joining us this evening. We appreciate it. At this time, now we're going into our people here on West Maui. Council Member Tamara Paulton and Lauren Aquintas. Please come on up. Hey. We're going to get out of here and the sun will still be up, so there's going to be a party somewhere. No. Did I hear somebody say yay? Good. How are you both doing? That's good. Yeah, that's good. It's good to know people from West Maui smiling with each other. So wonderful. Anyway, thank you for being here this evening. Again, as I said earlier, each one of you will have 2 minutes to introduce yourself to the people here, and then there'll be 3 questions that we will ask you. You have a minute to respond to all the 3 questions. So at this time, Council Member Tamara Paulton, would you go ahead and introduce yourself to us?
Hello, my kako. My name is Tamara Paulton. I was born in Oahu, raised in Hilo, and moved to Maui for my adult life. I spent 20 plus years or so as a first responder. I retired as a lieutenant in ocean safety for the Department of Fire and Public Safety. My husband is George Vieira, and interestingly enough, tonight is our 14th wedding anniversary. So if he's watching, love you. We have 2 children. Both are going to immersion school at Lahaina Intermediate School. His family is originally from Mala, the Keahis and the Vieiras, old-time fishing family. I don't know if you've heard the story about Jacob, the kaku. They used to kani the side of the canoe and get all the opelu to jump into the net. So that was where they're coming from. I went to Northern Arizona University. I got a Bachelor of Science in Mathematics and Education. I tutored math while I was there. When I graduated from school, Cayetano was the governor and there was a big strike, so I went back to working ocean safety. And I was the president of the Save Honolulu Coalition for many years. The state purchased that land. We're still working on management of it, better management. We have new leadership at Maui Land and Pine, and things are really looking up. I also am the former president of the West Maui Preservation Association, as well as a former president of Lahaina Community Land Trust, which I've stepped down from to just focus on recovery. But the goal there is to keep people on their land, and if not, give an opportunity to sell into the community rather than sell out. Thank you.
Thank you, Council Member Paulton. Mr. Aquintas.
First off, I want to thank God, thank everybody that's putting on this beautiful event. Thank my combat right here, my opponent. She's done a beautiful, amazing job. And I want to thank the island of Maui. My name is Lauren Aquintas. Many of you know me as Lolo from Maui Surf Culture, located at Front and Prison Street, Lahaina. I'm excited and proud to be here and to work with everybody, and I'm here to listen. Mahalo.
Thank you, Lolo. Go ahead and hold on to that microphone. I will ask, you will have the first respond. Yes. And I know this is your first time to run for office. So tell us, why should we, the voters of Maui should vote for you?
I'm running for Maui County Council because what happened last year shouldn't have happened. As a father, a business owner, born and raised here in Hawaii, I can relate to my neighbors and to my community because I am your neighbor. I would like to see our children grow old here, our kapuna to live in dignity. I'm here to break down the walls of division through our community and our county. Sorry, I got thrown off when I seen the 30 seconds. I was like, ooh.
Give you 5 more seconds.
Yes. But together, we can move forward and get out of the stagnancy that we're in. I'm here to listen to all sides, everybody that agrees and disagrees. I'm here to listen. Thank you very much. Mahalo.
Thank you, Mr. Quintes. Council Member Paulton.
Thank you. In the past 6 years that I've been on the council, we've shepherded through the West Maui Community Plan, which hadn't been updated in decades. We put in a lot about resilience, and it's just words on a paper without action. Just like on the council, one person cannot do anything. You have to work with the administration, you have to work with your colleagues. It takes 5, sometimes 6 votes to pass things. I have that kind of experience and relationship with my colleagues, whoever they may be, as well as the administration. Right after the fires, I worked together with Red Lightning to get internet on the Upper West Side. I worked with All Hands and Hearts and 4 of my neighbors' families to set up a hub at Napili Noho. I've learned the budget inside and out, and you know, there's things that have been done. Just today, one of my bills passed to take out the regulations for composting on ag land. Like, who would have thought the county was taking that? I heard back from the community about the temporary structure permits, that 180 days is not enough. We just passed that to 5 years for temporary structure permits. And it's those little movements. You can shoot for the sky, but a lot of times it doesn't happen because it's too complicated. So you just got to keep pushing ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Council Member Paulton. The next question, you could go ahead and be the first one to respond. The directors of the West Maui Taxpayers Association believe that health, safety, and welfare should be the priority. At times we feel like this is not the priority, again, just for us here in West Maui, but share with us what you plan to do to address these concerns.
Thank you for the question. So when we were first approached about the West Maui Hospital, I introduced a resolution that got unanimous support for the West Maui Hospital. We've learned that the bill that should be coming down is in the hands of the administration, and you know, we fully support that. In terms of evacuation routes, that's something that we're working on. We've heard that Lahaina Luna Road is closed due to concerns with the smokestack. And if that remains closed when school starts, that's going to be a major problem, with Keawe Street being the only way to get to Lahaina Luna Road. So working with Public Works to expedite Dickinson Street as an alternative route to get onto Lahaina Luna Road. When Lahaina Luna Road is opened up and the concerns from the smokestack are addressed, that will be an alternative route out of Lahaina Luna Road, working on the extension of Kuhua Street, working on an exit for Aki Street. We're just working on all these roads so that people don't get stuck again. And also concerns about the telephone poles, the electric poles falling down. We need to have those not on any of the evacuation routes. So those are some of the things that we're working on.
Thank you, Councilmember Paulton. Mr. Quintes, same question.
Oh yeah, beautifully well said. Traffic, definitely traffic. Working with the West Maui Taxpayers Association with the traffic, I believe we could get some solutions done that falls into public safety as well. Our Kapalua Airport, get that safer runways to shoot them out to Oahu. If we get that, fast track that, get a hospital. Of course, we need hospitals. Like, we have a lot of beautiful things that everybody said. Hospitals, police, fire stations. We're going to have that question, but all the things that we need. And power lines. Might be a hard one to talk about, might be expensive, but we should look into putting our power lines and our phone and all that underground. So, thank you. Sorry, do I have another second? Also, too, is vocational programs for the youth so they could succeed and be a fireman, be a firefighter. But we got to get these now, and also to housing, stages of mental illness and houseless. That's all part of that. We got to work together, the federal, county, and the state, and we got to get these programs, these resources in ASAP. Community outreach. We just got to get these things together. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Quintus. I will go ahead and assume that you will support the fire station. Now, once you're elected, what is your plan to help us ensure that within that 2 years, hopefully sooner, we will have another fire station here in Lahaina?
Well, 3 fire stations on the west side. Well, I believe that's going to bring in a lot more work for our local firefighters, safety. Also, too, what happened in Lahaina with 3 fire stations, that ain't happening again. I am support of the fire station Olowalu. My plan is to have the generational families of can you guys hear me? Generational families of Olowalu and Lahaina, for their voices and their needs to be heard and met. I think that's a great way to fast track things. I don't know why it's taking so long for these safety issues. I don't have those answers, but my plan is to work with the West Maui Taxpayers Association. Joe, Rick, they've done a fantastic job getting the Napili Fire Station in. Let's go.
Thank you, Mr. Quintus. Councilmember Paulton.
Thank you for the question. Everybody does support the fire station, like Member Kama and Shirley had said. All we can do is put the money. If the administration doesn't do things with it, we don't tell the administration what to do. That's an impeachable offense. Beyond the fire station is we're working with Hawaii Wildfire Management Organization on plans and defensible space. Also, we really need to focus on water source. I had the opportunity to travel to Japan, and they are no stranger to disaster. They have these pumps that can pull directly from the ocean and fight fires. So working on talking to the fire chief about that. There's all sorts of other little things that can be done in addition, and not to replace what we don't have, but to do in addition. In terms of changing zoning, we can do a conditional change in zoning to public, quasi-public, to allow for a fire station there. But ultimately, it is the decision of the fire chief. We can put the money there. It has to be initiated by the administration. My first year in office, I put $500,000 to clean up mile marker 13.5. Nothing happened. So that's an example of putting the money and the administration doesn't take the ball and run with it. So it needs to be initiated by the administration. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Paulton. As I said, if the administration do not want to spend the money, we in Taxpayers Maui know what to do with it. We could put a sign that says slow down on Keawe Street, or we could buy more tables and chairs. So thank you. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you. All right, next I'd like to call on State Representative El Cochran, Kanamo Balinbin, and Mr. Kelly Armstrong. Hey, how's it going? Okay, I guess Ellie is a no-show, so we got the two best-looking guys from Lahaina here in the front. Okay. Nice to see you both gentlemen to be here. Again, thank you for being here this evening. As I had mentioned earlier, you'll have 2 minutes to introduce who you are, and then I will be asking you a question. The question that I'll be asking you, actually, it's not the same question I've asked them things just came in my mind right now that just kind of like come up. So it will be a very different question. Since we're here supposedly until 8 o'clock, so expect about 20 questions from me. No. So go ahead and introduce yourself. Well, you got 2 minutes to introduce yourself. Let's start with you, Mr. Armstrong.
Aloha, everybody. My name is Kelly Armstrong. First, I want to thank you guys for putting this on. It's an excellent opportunity for us to get our voice out to you. I also wanted to thank all of you for taking time out of your evening. This is obviously important to you. So thank you for coming. Thank you for everybody that's watching this. This is a very important election for all of us. I work at the Westin Hotel Group. Married, 4 kids. My wife is an educator. She's been a preschool teacher at Cam Third and Maui Prep. Now she's working for the athletic director up at Lahaina Luna. So we're deeply involved in the community. We've watched what's gone on with the school system, which is very important to us. And obviously what's happened in Lahaina has changed the whole ball game. We got a lot of work to do. We need people that are going to do something and actually do it instead of broken promises. We've got a lot of problems with homelessness. We've got a lot of problems with drug use. We've got a lot of problems with our recycling. I don't even know if it actually exists here on Maui. And we need to work hard at putting these things into action instead of just talking about them. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Balimbin?
Hello, everyone. My name is Kanamo Balimbin, and I'm a 56-year-old Lahaina graduate. My wife, Rochelle Balimbin, and we have been married for 19 years. I have 4 children. My daughter, Kiawaiki, my son, Inoka, my daughter, Kaiulani, and my other son, Maiola. It's been a very trying time for us here in Lahaina and West Maui. And, you know, I'm here with our team. We have a team. We're not just here as an individual running for office. We have a team put together, and our whole team is our District 14. We have a lot of smart people in our district, a lot of people who are experts at housing, experts at wastewater, experts at infrastructure. And those are the people that I have on my team. We'll do what the community wants. That's our whole structure. My family, we're a generational family. Our Balimbin family has been living in Mala since the early 1900s. On my mom's side, my whole Pai side, we come from Ulaʻinohana, and we're direct descendants of Piilani, former king of Maui. So I have that in my blood to take care of the people of our island. We don't care what color you are, where you come from. If you're here in Lahaina and we can help you, we will help you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kanamu. We're not going to ask you why we should vote for you, but instead, we're going to ask you about what you would do for us, especially for small businesses. As we all know, small businesses is our economic engine. I have always said to people that when people come to Maui, unless they go to Front Street, they feel like their visit to Maui is incomplete. With that said, could you share some ideas what you would do to help, especially our small businesses that I feel are not being even talked about, that I feel that they're being neglected? Could you share with us, if you are elected, what you would do to help the small businesses to open up and to, of course, thrive again? I'll start with you, Mr. Forrest. I'm sorry, Mr. Armstrong. I'm so sorry. I'm looking at you. Thank you for that correction. It's been too long here. I look at there, when you show candidate, everybody starts to look alike, so I'm so sorry.
You've done a heck of a job tonight, so don't worry about it. It's hard to do. Oh, small business, man. We've seen them all go away, nationwide, worldwide. We've all gone to e-commerce, unfortunately, and it's hard to compete with it. How do we ensure that we as a community support our community businesses? We've got to. We have to go back to, I'm going to go to the local meat market. I'm going to go to the local shops. Yeah, we get a better deal on Amazon. We can go take it back at Whole Foods, I think we're all probably guilty of doing it once in a while. But we've got to figure out a way to get those small businesses back. It is the heart and soul of Lahaina. Lahaina is about the people. It's not about those buildings and structures that we lost. If we lose the people, and Tom said it perfectly, to places like Las Vegas, which they're going in droves, then we lose the culture of Lahaina. And we can't lose that. We can put the same buildings and the same houses back, but if the people of Lahaina are gone, Lahaina is gone. So we've got to do it quickly. I heard one of our representatives say it was going to take 10 to 20 years to rebuild Lahaina. We don't have 10 to 20 years. We don't have that. We need people that are going to get on the ground and start running and get stuff done. And I'm going to be that person that helps you do it.
Thank you, Mr. Armstrong. Mr. Balinbin?
Thank you for that question, Rick. Being a small business owner myself, I own Nalu Grinds and Coconut Grove Catering. It's very sad. A lot of our small businesses have disappeared here in West Maui. I believe that with Maui Strong giving, we've told this to our outgoing seniors this year, please take advantage of that education that University of Hawaii will give to you for 4 years. Get that education. Go get that degree. Go get that degree so you can get that. So you can get that small business degree. You can get that small business, or you can get that general manager job, that front office manager job. You don't want to. We don't want waiters, busboys, bus drivers for our kids, for our children to be doing. We want them to be general managers, housing directors. Get them into the business that they love. Because if you don't like me, I love to cook. So whenever I'm doing a catering, it's not work for me. And I enjoy it. I enjoy seeing the smile on people's faces. I love enjoying giving them a good product. So what we need to do is educate our small business people who want to go into business to make sure you have a great product. Make sure that you take care of the people in your community first and foremost. That's what we do. We have shown at our Stearns Community Hub from day one, right after the fire, as a team, as a community, we have come together to solve the most basic needs for our people. Food, shelter, daily basic necessities. At Stearns, we were able to strive that because as a team, we can solve problems. That's what we'd be going to. We would run this administration as a team with the people of District 14 having an input in everything that we do. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Bolinbin. Earlier, I believe Ms. Kelly King talked about mental health. And I'm going to put in a little plug about the Rotary Club here at Lahaina. Right after the fire, the one thing that we focus on is mental health for the youth. Everybody talks about mental health, but nobody really addressed the issue with taking care of our kids before they get into that situation. So having said that, one of the biggest issues right here in Lahaina right now, if you were to go in the comprehensive health center right now to try to see someone that could help you with mental health, you got a waiting list that you probably will never see. And this is a big issue that we all have. This is part of why we have a lot of people that are homeless. They're waiting for some assistance and we're not getting it. And so, how could you help us with that once you get into the state? I know one of the big issues has always been budget this, budget that, but do you have any idea of how we can solve that big problem? Because that is a challenge that we all have, not only the homeless people, but of course our citizens, especially those who lost their loved ones, their family, their homes. So could you respond to that question, Mr. Armstrong? Yes. It's a good thing I didn't say it.
Oh, mental health's a big one, and it's one that we've been talking about a lot. It actually does go, let's go back to the kids for a moment. We have a school system that's broken. We have a superintendent that is appointed by the governor. That's a major problem. They're on Oahu. They are disconnected from what's going on here in Maui. We need to make sure that the head of the DOE is not only elected, but separated down to a county level. If we can do that, we could hold that superintendent or that elected official responsible for their actions. If they fail, fire them. We all get fired for not doing our job. And for many years, these people have not been doing their job. My kids go to Lahaina Luna High School. They're sitting in a cafeteria because the teacher didn't show up to work. Well, at what point does a kid lose hope? start losing the faith that, okay, I'm going to become somebody. Next thing you know, they're dropping out of school. The fire didn't help out at all. Homelessness, really quick, is a giant one. Are they all from here? I don't think they are. How are they getting here? How is it growing exponentially? I think we need to do some research and figure out where all these people are coming from, because I'm pretty sure other states and cities might be shipping them on one-way tickets here. We need to solve that problem. And if we can manage the people and the homelessness, helping them get off the streets, I think then we have more people available to help us with the mental illness problem. Drugs first, get them off the streets, and it can be done. I just don't see it happening with the current administration.
Thank you. Mr. Balimbin?
We see at our Esther Donation Hub, mental issues, mental problems are one of the big factors that we ask, what do you need help in? We ask these people when they come to our, what do you need help with? Someone will just say food, something basic that says a lot of them just need a hug or someone to talk to. And at the beginning of the fire, we had people coming down from Oahu at different other institutions to come help with that initial shock, that initial thing. And throughout the years, throughout the months, it has somewhat dwindled. But we have been recently reaching out to psychiatrists and other health professionals in the mental health field to come down. And currently, we will have people coming down there Tuesdays and Thursdays down in Esther's from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock in the afternoon to help with mental health issues. So please, if you want to come down, starting next week, Thursday, we'll have someone down there at 1 to 3 o'clock. And we'll try to post it on our official Lahaina Strong Facebook for when more people are coming down, because a lot of the mental health professionals know our situation. So thank you very much for allowing me to address that.
Mr. Balimbing, could you check to make sure your microphone is on? It's a good thing that you speak really loud like
Well,
me.
I speak loud anyway.
There you
so.
go. Yeah. Could you repeat that, please?
It's not unusual to be loved by anyone.
Okay, that's enough. It might start raining outside, and I mean, okay, that's very good there, Mr. Balimbin. Yeah. Okay. Now it's your turn to respond to his song. Okay. Okay. We can do that later on, but we need everybody here to help clean up. So, anyway, the last question that I have for two of you gentlemen is the bypass. You know, I've mentioned about, just like I've mentioned about the chairs and the tables here, we need our bypass. And again, as I mentioned earlier, it's that seems to me that the people on Oahu are calling the shots for us here in Lahaina, when we in Lahaina are saying we need the bypass. If you're elected, you know, you need to work with those guys there on Oahu. But tell us exactly what would be your approach to ensure that the bypass will be built.
Okay. So, bypass will be one of our major priorities for our election, if elected. For safety issues, that's a major priority. We only have that one area to come out to Keawe Street, and everybody knows that if we had the bypass, a lot of lives would have been saved. I, for one, know that some of our Maui delegates on the Senate and the Council, they're kind of outnumbered on Oahu. But for me, as being a resident, a lifelong resident of West Maui, we know how much money we bring into this state. We're like the cash cow of this state. So we will not be bullied. I will not be bullied. Our team will not be bullied until we get our bypass finished. That's the promise that I make for you guys right now. We will get it done ASAP. We will not rest until the bypass is done. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Balimbin. Mr. Armstrong?
All the things that we talked about tonight are very important. Should we have the fire department? Of course. Should we have the bypass? Of course we should. Should we have all these things put into place? We've been talking about them for years, but they're not getting done. So, I guess my plea to the people It was kind of like when the fire happened. We were all crying, screaming, yelling for representation. We needed somebody to be our voice when that time happened. We were unloading 2 boats in the morning and a plane at night. We had no party divide. We were all helping each other out, setting up distribution centers, unloading boats, unloading planes. At that moment, we were one. We've got to figure out how to get back to that part. But the unfortunate part is the voice that we needed at that moment was not there. It wasn't there. I still haven't seen it. Still don't see it tonight. We've got to have somebody that is working for us. And I'm going to be that person. We've got to have somebody that's going to step up. We will get the pipe pass done. We will get homeless people off the streets. We will fix our schools. We will get Lahaina built the way the people want it. This will not be a Waikiki. This will be done the way we want it. And we will get it all done. Thank you.
Thank you. I actually screwed up. I do have one more question. So there's 4 questions for you guys because, again, we need help. We need help in education. As you all know, again, our Department of Education, the Oahu people are calling the shots. Our teachers, I believe, are, for them to spend their own money to buy classroom supplies and our kids not having enough supplies. What are your plans to ensure that our teachers will be equipped properly to educate the future of our community once you're elected there? Do you have any idea on how you're going to help our teachers? I heard you say earlier that your wife is a teacher, a former teacher at Camp Third?
My wife is a teacher, yes. How about this? Let's keep our money on Maui. Is anybody else sick of funding HART? And do a tram on Oahu? If we are the second largest income producing part of the state of Hawaii, why are we giving our money to another place that's plundering the money? We have tons of infrastructure problems here in Maui. We need a new water treatment facility. We need to adjust for growth. And right now, every time you go by that water treatment facility on Tuesday, you could tell it was Taco Tuesday. We've got to fix the problem. We can't have this anymore. So we know that all of our systems are failing. We know our infrastructure is failing. And we know that we're giving our money to a different island. No more. No more. I will go and fight and make sure our money stays here as we rebuild our infrastructure. If we need to go get federal funding to make sure that Lahaina is built the right way, then we need to go attack them. But I don't see anybody doing it. So again, time for change.
Thank you. Mr. Balimbin?
Well, if you know my family, the Balimbins, you're either a chef or you're a teacher. We have a lot of education, a lot of educators. All my cousins are teachers. I have aunties and uncles who are teachers here on Maui. I understand their plight. They're always saying, I have to buy school materials for this. I have to buy school supplies for this. I work in so-and-so, such and such hours. For me, teachers need more money, period. They need raises. They need housing. They need better housing facilities. They should be on the top of our list on who should get raises. Not the city council, not the county council, or all these other government entities who want to give themselves raises. That's BS to me. For our kids to get what they deserve, education is key. And I'll make sure that we write resolutions and bills to make sure that our money here in West Maui will get most of it back to our schools here and to the people of West Maui. We just have to do that. We're not going to be bullied by these other old-time senators or representatives who think that Oahu is more important than us. Hell no. It's time for Maui to shine again. And I will make that happen if elected. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Balimbin. All right. You're off the hot seat now, so thank you so much. Okay, now we just got to make sure that you guys do the job once you're elected. All right. Have a wonderful evening. Aloha. All right. At this time, I would like to call on Senator McKelvey and Sheila Walker. Okay, they're the last two candidates. And then after that, I believe there's a lot more food out there. Okay. All right. We're actually ahead of time here. So, but anyway, we would like the two of you to go ahead and take 2 minutes to introduce yourself to the people here. And then from there, we're going to our Q&A. So, Ms. Walker, you want to go ahead and start, please?
Thank you, Rick. Aloha. Thank you, everyone, for staying. I appreciate your attention tonight. I know there's other things you could be doing, but like Kelly Armstrong said, this is a very important election, and I'm very, very glad that you're here to educate yourself on the options. I'm Sheila Walker. I live in Maui Meadows, and I'm part of several community organizations here on Maui. I'm a moderator on Nextdoor. I am a member at Calvary Chapel, South Maui, and I'm a big contributor to a lot of organizations, to the Lahaina Restoration Organization, to the West Maui Taxpayers Organization, the Oluwalu Fire fundraisers. I'm also a contributor to the Hui Art Center and 100 Women Who Care. So I'm very involved in my community, and I love living here. I'm also a past former business owner. I own a manufacturing company, so I understand that small business is the backbone of any community. And if we can bring back our small businesses, like we've talked about earlier tonight, we can bring back the health of our economy. And a strong, healthy economy will support our housing efforts, will support the revival of Lahaina, will support our mental health. So one of the things I'm an advocate for is definitely the small businesses. And since I was a manufacturer owner, I understand production, I understand timelines, and I understand that we have to get the job done. So there is no time for excuses in my past life. I had to deliver or else. So that's part of my past. And I'm very, very, let's see, what am I passionate about? I'm passionate about bringing the hospital to the west side. I'm passionate about building the Oluwalu fire station and a Waikapu fire station. And I'm also very, very passionate about finishing the extension to that bypass and shoring up the ocean front as well. So those are some of the things that I'm interested in helping the community with, and also listening to what the community wants. So I am, thank you. I think I'm about out of words and about out of time. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Walker. Senator McKelvey.
Hey, hello. Okay. It's been a long day, everybody. Aloha, and thank you for sticking out and being here for us to talk story with you about the future of Lahaina in this great district. I'm Angus McKelvey. I'm your senator now. I've been so blessed to be a part of this town and this island since I can remember not at all, about a year old. And it's been the most traumatic, surreal experience that I think any of us have ever seen. We had problems before, and we have problems and pressures from the outside world, but to have the biggest disaster in U.S. history on top of us has exponentially made it worse. And as your senator, I've tried to do one thing and one thing only. And I'm sorry if people may disagree with this, but I think if you look back at social media and the news, it's to be that loud, angry voice with FEMA, with the federal government, with my very own party, with my very own administration in Honolulu. Look it up. You'll see it. And I'm not afraid, because you know what? At the end of the day, it's about people. Making sure they get what they deserve, not to be exposed to a system of denies and appeals, not watching their insurance run out. And I'll use my remaining time, because the biggest subject in this room in this election is insurance. You cannot rebuild with the insurance lapse. You cannot insure your buildings with 400, 800% increases. Nowhere is the conversation about the cataclysmic collapse of insurance in Hawaii. We had an insurance stabilization bill. It failed. I will bring it back and fight for it. We need that to send strong signals to the market so insurers aren't pulling out, and we need also to hold the banks accountable, because they're invested in this too. This is a big problem. I'm here to fight for you and work with everybody in this awesome community to make Maui better and really just tackle these basic bread and butter issues that affects all of us, regardless of party. Mahalo again, and thank you.
Thank you, Senator McKelvey. You said what we deserve affordable housing, we deserve this, we deserve that. But then again, it seems like every year, affordable housing is talked about, and then next coming election is being talked about again. So we're not going to talk about that tonight. Let's talk about the economy. You know, we talk a lot about people who is unemployed, but the fact of the matter is that we have a lot of people who is underemployed. You know, you ask yourself this, how does the people that work at the hotel able to afford to buy a home that's $1 million? You know, I mean, it's not possible with just one job. A lot of these people work, you know, they work 2 or 3 jobs, and they go to work in all these small businesses. As I had asked earlier, you know, these small businesses, they want to get back running their business, and they feel like they've been left behind, they're being neglected, nobody's listening to them. So you guys have basically the power to help this, the small businesses that we have here. I'm looking at my friend Hermosa. Hello there. I know he's been there looking for some help because of Front Street, and the people on Front Street really need the help. That is a big economic engine for not only for the county of Maui, but actually the state of Hawaii. So I'd like to start with you, Senator McKelvey. What are you planning on doing to help the small businesses so that they can reopen their businesses and succeed in basically providing jobs for the people of Maui?
Well, thank you very much. And when I was this last session, I introduced a bill to put state monies behind the MEO Bridge program, which was the only type of assistance businesses were getting. Why reinvent the wheel when we can simply fund what is already working? And unfortunately, because of the sucking sound, and I'll be honest with you, nobody was listening, and the small businesses got left behind on the state level. We need to ensure our small businesses can be there. Front Street is the economic engine. 15% of the entire state's GDP came from West Maui, with most of it coming from Front Street. If we don't rebuild this economic engine, if we don't rebuild this economic engine, then what will be the engine? What will provide the jobs for people to actually be here? So we need to invest heavily in businesses, and I want to bring back the investment credit bill that I had from last year so we can incentivize private investment so Lahaina people and businesses can get the help they need outside of government. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Senator McKelvey. Ms. Walker.
So like I said before, small business is the backbone of any community. That's what makes our community run. If we can't get those businesses up and running again, we will be dead in the water. So we need tax credits for those businesses. We need incentives for them. We can definitely advocate for every small business to help them get up and running again. There's all kinds of things we can do. It's through the legislature and through federal funding. So we can use our influence to help those businesses get back up and running and do it in a way that they will become profitable from day one. So we just need to get in there and make it happen. So everyone deserves to build their business back.
Thank you. I'm glad to hear that, because just to let you know, and I'll be calling on you guys, is that I'm also now the chairman of the board for the Maui Chamber of Commerce, so I'm going to hold you to your response. Yeah, the state chamber or whatever, but we just need the help here in Lahaina. Now let's go into the bypass. This is something that every time I look at it, I watch it, it upsets me, because again, the people on Oahu is calling the shots. When they tell us that we want to listen to the people of Lahaina, and then yet they said, no, it's not in the plan. What can you do to help us to ensure that bypass will be built? I don't know when, but we need to have it built. I'd like to start with you, Ms. Walker.
So not only do we need to extend the bypass, but we also need to move that shoreline further back. So there's 2 issues with the bypass, and I'm not exactly sure why the construction stopped on the bypass, because it was funded to be finished, and then a pandemic happened. So there's no excuse for it to not have been finished. They stopped the funding for it, and now we're stuck with this, unfinished project. So on my watch, projects will be thought through to the end, followed through, and will get completed. And we will find funding for that bypass to be extended.
Thank you very much, Rick. Well, as you guys know, I first ran for office when Dan Inouye and Senator Ross Baker called me frustrated because the funding for the first stage of the bypass had been killed yet again in the House of Representatives. So I ran and got to know Bob Nakasone really, really well, and thanks to working across party lines with Linda Lingle and the president, we got the first phase done, and the idea was rolling construction. Second phase got done, pandemic, rental car thing stopped. As your state senator, I went there and pushed for $70 million for the bypass. The budget starts in the House of Representatives. House version of the budget from 2 years ago, my first year, zero money for the bypass. Senate version, thanks to my colleagues, $70 million for the bypass. The conference draft one, the final state budget, no money for the bypass. We were there, we're going to fight. Let's get around the DOT. Let's use the HHFDC's new construction powers. Let's use DHHL. Let's divert TAP money back here, and let's use uncontested traffic fines, which go to the judiciary 100%, reallocate them back to the bypass and our Maui projects. Those are my proposals to get this going. We can't work through this. Let's work around it, but let's keep working. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator McKelvey. Now let's go to education. You know, it's not crazy. It's actually quite upsetting when everybody says our youth, they are our future. So here comes the budget cut. The first thing we do are cut Department of Education. And so, again, we're so involved with helping out with our teachers here in Lahaina because, again, they have to buy their own school supplies, classroom supply. And we should be so grateful. We actually have teachers that are coming all the way from the other side of the island to Lahaina to teach our children. But yet, they don't feel like they're appreciated by the state. They love their students, they love the parents that they work with, but somehow the state of Hawaii do not show any kind of respect for what they're doing. That's how they feel. Otherwise, they wouldn't have to use their own money to buy their own classroom supplies. Now, once you're elected there, I know it's been an ongoing issue. I'm sure that you guys, there's some ideas for a change to ensure that our teachers will not have to use their own money to buy their school supplies. I know that there was a bill that Governor Green tried to push whereby they're going to give them $500 to buy their school supplies. I don't know what happened to that, but $500 doesn't get you a lot. So, Ms. Walker, could you respond to that as far as how we can help our teachers?
Absolutely. Before 1986, did you know that our state actually had an elected Department of Education and elected school boards? So we need to get back to that model where we had elected officials and have the parents have more involvement with their children in the schools. If our parents were there, parents were volunteering in the classrooms and donating the school supplies, that's how we can turn it around. We need to have those elected officials and have parents in charge of our school system.
It's funny, we actually agree on a lot. One of them is the fact that I've introduced bills in the past to put another Con Am back in front of the people to go back to an elected school board. I was opposed to the Con Am, which, by the way, passed because of Oahu people that made it an appointed school board for the very same problems that we see today. A detached board of people in Honolulu who are brought and appointed there because of connections to the governor, not accountable to the people. Now, one of the things brought up when this thing passed was, well, people don't vote for Board of Education members. Most blank ballots are always in the Board of Education members. It doesn't mean that you don't, and we have a former member back there who was elected. But we need to do that. But also the county and the state, we need to have a serious, long, intense discussion of the reallocation of state resources and ministerial activities. The county needs to be a bigger partner with the Department of Education, both in governance and funding, and that's where our teachers can get help. In the mainland, municipalities do the schools. Let's create this partnership. Maybe that's the way to bring the control back with the money as well.
Thank you. Senator, it's been so long, McKelvey. I'm going to change this up. We're going to take a question from one of you to ask a question to our senators here. So anybody has a question for them? Throw a curveball for these guys. Please. Senator McKelvey, since you're in that. Oh, actually, could you come on up here? I heard a question, but did you hear?
Yeah, he wanted to know about what
the accountability.
The accountability for the DOE. I'm trying to, I hear you and feel you, because the DOE was allocated hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars in CIP, capital improvement projects. There are people in the DOE that came to us and we're like, you have all of this money sitting there doing nothing. It's called unlapped CIP. CIP that could be used for our schools, CIP that could be used for Lahaina. They sat on it. We finally got them to shift it, put people in charge who are actually going to be accountable, but the fact that this was allowed to happen was ridiculous. Look at the Kihei overpass. $19 million for an overpass. So
Senator McKelvey, that's not, we know about that. He's asking you, what are you going to do to make sure for the accountability of this?
Well, you make it accountable by bringing up, I brought up 2 years ago the unlapped CIP, and we pulled the CIP from the Department of Education. But the thing about it is that we need to go ahead and ensure these projects are executed. We need to make sure that they're being encumbered and done on time. And you're right, it's a battle, but it requires vigilance. But we start by basically showing where the waste is, exposing it, and then trying to make sure that these resources are allocated. But I hear your frustration, I feel you, because it is the biggest bureaucracy, the fifth branch of government.
Thank you, Senator McKelvey. Ms. Walker?
Since Josh Green appoints the DOE, I suggest we get rid of Josh Green.
Okay. I'm glad you guys are awake. Or did that just wake you guys up? Anyway, that concludes the evening, so thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate your participation this evening. Remember, again, your vote is your voice. We need you, in order for us to get things done here in Lahaina, we need your support, especially when it comes to the bypass. Again, have a wonderful evening. If you're driving from the other side of the island, drive carefully. Thank you so much, and good night. Aloha.